This is my old VR gaming PC. Yeah, it's small, yeah, it's powerful, but it just wasn't good enough for me. So in today's video, we're building my new and improved, even smaller, even more powerful VR gaming PC. Stay tuned to see how I was able to cram up to double the GPU power of this VR gaming rig into this tiny little case. Hey guys, what's up? In today's video, I'm going to be building a freaking amazing small form factor VR gaming PC. Again, I'm super excited for this one, so let's just get right into the build because we got a lot of awesome hardware to put in, quite frankly, not a lot of space.
Alright guys, here's a quick look at just some of the insane hardware that we're going to be putting into this Geek A30 V2 Mini ITX case. We got a lot of hardware and a very small case, so let's get right into the build, starting with our
ROG Strix B550i ITX gaming motherboard. This is an all-around pretty great motherboard with plenty of features that'll help us with our build. I/O is fairly limited, rocking only 4 USB 3.1 Gen something by something, who freaking knows at this point, ports, one of those being USB-C, Gigabit Ethernet, one USB 2, which is mainly used for BIOS flashback on this board, which is an amazing feature, DisplayPort and HDMI out, which we probably won't need for this build. So this is just a pretty decent board for our build. So first thing we're going to do is install our Ryzen 5 5600G. Now I'm going with the 5600G here because my X left me for a different build. And the G, in my opinion, is just as good, if not better, and I feel that it really hits the spot here in terms of performance. So I'm just going to stick this G into the spot on the motherboard that is ready for it, right here, into our AM4 socket, and I'm going to lower that, and we have installed our CPU. Next, we're actually going to do our SSD. So we're going to undo a screw on the motherboard, pop in our 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD, hold that down, and just like that, it's installed. This motherboard does come with a nice M.2 heatsink, which we are going to install right now. And yes, I did peel off the plastic piece, as you should. Now moving on to our modified Noctua NH-L9A.
Okay, yeah, the Noctua L9A is great, but it could be better. You see, it comes with this dinky little slim 92mm fan, and Noctua graciously sent me a metric butt ton of their premium Chromax fans, including these super thick boy 92mm fans, so I just throw away this little slim fan and stuck one on there like so, and we end up with the overclocked, overpowered, and sexalicious modified Noctua NH-L9A with a much thicker fan. And I just think it'll work a little bit better, just a smidge.
Thank you again to Noctua for sending me all these awesome fans that I've been using for my recent builds. Feel free to check them out in the description below. Installing this is kind of stupid because we are going to now put this down, throw our motherboard on top like so. Yes, this is legitimately how Noctua recommends installing this cooler. And there we go. Our Noctua cooler is chunky and properly installed. Improper mounting has led to many divorces. Now, normally you install your RAM right about now, but I'm actually going to wait until after our motherboard is in the case and all of our cables are properly managed, because it's a lot easier to connect everything without the RAM in, and then the RAM can be done last. So our Silicon Power X Power will have to wait. But besides that, our motherboard is looking pretty good. It's very heavy, but not gonna lie, it's a pretty damn good looking PC. Let's move over to our case and get this thing finished. Alright guys, we're almost ready to put everything into our case, but before we do that, I actually want to install 2 of these Noctua Slim 92mm fans. So our Geek A40 actually supports 2 of these fans in the top of the case, and we will use them as exhaust. It'll help both our graphics card and CPU coolers to keep our components nice and cool. Probably not entirely necessary because both our CPU cooler and GPU cooler can handle full load on their own, but it's a nice touch, and why not? Noctua sent me a ton of these fans, so might as well use them. Thank you again, Noctua. Now you can see we've got some nice fans right on the top. Now you can see we've got our fans installed right there on the top as some extra exhaust. Now it's time to just drop our motherboard in the top. It actually goes in upside down. Alright, now that that's screwed in and our riser for our graphics card is connected, we can go ahead and start plugging things in and hoping for the best. Real quick, while I'm hooking all this up, I actually forgot to mention that the power supply we're using in today's build is the Silverstone FX500. That is a Flex ATX 500 watt 80 plus gold PSU. And it's worked in a lot of builds and I freaking love it, so again, feel free to check that out in the description below. Let's go on with the build. Alright. Everything should be properly plugged in, roughly speaking. Our cables are, well, nothing short of absolutely atrocious, but not much I can do about it. There's supposed to be a cover here. Don't know where it went. It's one of you build your own case things, so who knows. But that's the point. Let's install our RAM now. So we've got, again, 32 gigs of Silicon Power X Power DDR4 is DDR4 3200 megahertz, so plenty fast for all of our games, so we have nothing to worry about. Totally overshadowed by this massive freaking fan here, but hey, if it works, it works. And finally, we're going to install the crown jewel of this build, our RTX 3060. Yes, this tiny, adorable beast is an RTX 3060. This is the EVGA something something XC yada yada, stop naming graphics cards stupid names and I'll remember them. This is one of the smallest 3060s that actually, well, functions and is able to keep itself cool. So that's pretty awesome and it fits perfectly in this tiny little case, so I'm gonna use it. The 3060 is a pretty damn powerful card, roughly rivaling a 2070 Super. But unlike the 2070 Super, there's actually a version that can fit in this case. There's, to my knowledge, no 2070 Super or better that can fit in this case that can actually fit in a case this small. So this 3060 is absolutely perfect and will be way more than enough for our VR gameplay. To install it should be pretty simple. We want to start with our 8-pin power. There we go. I don't know what to name this card, like Flex. That's fine. Alright, looking good. Somebody out there is making non-magnetic screws, and I'm gonna find them. This RTX 3060 is pretty paramount to the ability of this thing to be so freaking tiny and powerful. And turning it around, not gonna lie, cables are a bit messy, but if it works, it works. That's what I think. And it doesn't look too terrible, especially at this small. Let's go ahead and pop these side panels on and give it a boot test. All right, just as a preliminary test, let's see if it sounds all right and, well, even turns on for that matter. Here we go. Any fans hitting cables? It takes a sec. There we go. I don't know why it does that. We got airflow. I don't hear anything bad. GPU fans are spinning. Top exhaust fans are spinning. All I have to do is hook it up, make sure it's actually working, and test some VR with it. So let's bring this thing over to the VR setup and test a few games on it. One sec. Shit.